Good morning and welcome to this session of International Marketing Strategy. We are getting to start with the Module 3 today. So, Module 3 is Global Marketing Entry Strategy. You will have various entry level strategies like exporting, licensing, local manufacturing, joint venture, mergers and acquisitions, and strategic alliance. These are the various methods for global entry strategy. After this, you will also have the exit strategy. What is exit strategy and how to get out of a business when it is not profitable. So, we will start with global market entry strategy. Why would a company get into an international market? Top three reasons are: one is they want to expand their presence. Okay, they started manufacturing chocolates. All the trial and error are over. Their product now is of international quality. Their production unit is functioning perfectly well, and customers are extremely good. Their response to the product is overwhelming. So they are doing very well in the local market. They have lots of capacity and they want to expand, make their business more. Okay, so now they are looking at other markets. Without this production robust, they will not be able to look at other markets. So this is the first reason. Second reason is seeking better efficiencies. Efficiencies, in other words, would mean, let us take an example of Samsung, Sony, Ericsson, Sony. So what happens is they have a huge number of variations in the products. Phones, for example, every 6 months there is a new version. So they have similarly television, refrigerators. They have got a huge variety of the products. Now the local market has become very advanced, so they don't want to buy the low end products. So efficiency would mean looking into another market to sell your products which are older versions. This is typically what happens in most of the automobile sector. German cars, they would bring it to India after 15-20 years. Okay, those versions that are here, they would not like that. You have televisions. Older versions will be sent to the other markets, whereas the newer versions, the upmarket versions, will be sold. So this is a very normal scenario. If you look at India, India will be looking at markets like Bangladesh, Afghan, Sri Lanka, Nepal. Okay, so for their, because their local market needs high-end products, right? Next, seeking more resources. That is always there. You want more money, then you have to look at more markets. Ready for entry. So when is a company ready to look into a global market? This decision they have to be ready first. So this decision will affect their internal working also. Okay. So the vital questions before entry is, why enter into a global market? Can I find within the local markets more segments, more targets? Is it possible? Okay. It's a no. Internally we cannot grow. We have to look for thing outside. Then second question is, which is the target market? With the cars, small cars, Maruti cannot go to Germany, right? Technologically they can go with their small cars, which where the market is shrinking in India. They can go only to countries, ASEAN countries, right? So what is the target market? What is the best model to enter in the available mode? So should I set up a manufacturing unit in Nepal, in Sri Lanka, or should I manufacture from here and send it across? So these are strategic decisions. When should we enter the global market? Okay. When is it ready? When are we ready? What systems, process, methods should we use? So these are the questions that a company has to ask before they venture. Now, models of global entry. Waterfall model is when they choose one particular country and go there. A company enters one market first, followed by another market. You first try out Sri Lanka, then you move to Thailand, like that, within Asian countries. Sprinkle model is also called a diffusion model. The company attempts to enter as many markets as possible. For this you need a lot of muscle. Muscle meaning money. You should be able to muster a lot of funds. That's why if you see most of the international brands, they're all from countries like US, Europe, UK, because for 40 years their currency has been so strong. For them entering into Asian countries is because so easy, right? Whereas it's the other way around for us, right? Next one is wave model. This is a mix of your waterfall model and your sprinkle model, right? Global entry strategy. Global entry strategy is a plan by which a company decides to enter into international markets. By doing this, they have to do a market research. Internally, they have to redefine their goals, their strategies, okay, and then take a decision as to how they are going to enter the market. Generally, there are three different aspects, okay? Whether you are going to export, whether you are going to manufacture and export, and how you are going to own. For example, if Maruti is going to export, whether they are going to export after manufacturing in India, or are they going to set up plant in Sri Lanka and then look at the local market? What is the ownership method? Are they going to be fully owned, or are they going to have a tie-up with a local company from Sri Lanka? So these are the various considerations. Look at this now. So your global market entry strategy starts off with manufacturing at home. That means wherever you are currently present, are you going to manufacture there? So in which case you will be exporting either directly or indirectly, or piggy bank. Directly means Maruti has its own export division, and then they manufacture, and then they export. Indirectly means they will have agents, okay, export agents, and they will import export houses, and they will export through them. Piggy bank is a version, one of the alternatives. Manufacturing abroad, that is going and having a plant in Sri Lanka. So it can be a contractual, franchising, manufacturing, licensing, turnkey project. So these are the various ways in which you manufacture, whether you're going to have a license. We'll see all these things as we proceed. Investment entry. Are we going to have overseas, foreign direct investment, or are we going to acquire another company, or are we going to have another company from Sri Lanka and going to have a joint venture? All these ways are investment entry. Manufacturing, and this is manufacturing at home, manufacturing abroad, entry. How you are going to set up your company. Okay, right. So the first one is exporting. So what is the global market strategy that you're going to follow? You're going to export. So what is this export? Export market opportunity is what you do is you already are manufacturing here and you're going to export it. How you're going to export it? You have your own export house, or you're going to give it to another agent who's going to do it. Correct? Direct exporting, indirect exporting. What is direct exporting? To a foreign customer, agent, distributor, foreign branch from your country, India, you're going to do it directly. You have your own distributors, representatives. You can have an office there. Okay? Or indirect export. Indirect is through an export partner or another export house which is already established. You will send it through them. Clear? So what is exporting and what is direct method and indirect method? Then you have what are the advantages? Advantages is it is the easiest way to capture a global market. Okay, and your basic sweat that you have to do is also much lesser. Why? Because you already have a good manufacturing unit, it's going on well. Only thing you have to learn is your export procedures. Risk is less complicated. Okay, so advantages are, it's the best way to learn. Otherwise, going and having a joint venture immediately or going and investing foreign direct investment, it's a lot of risk involved. Okay, so this is exporting. Next aspect is benefits of exporting. Okay, so what happens because you export? Market gets expanded. You start earning foreign exchange. Instead of earning in rupees, you are earning in dollars. Okay, even if Sri Lankans have to pay you, they will not pay in Sri Lankan rupees. They have to pay to you in US dollars. Lowering manufacturing cost. How will you lower manufacturing cost? If you are manufacturing 100 cars, there is a marginal difference in manufacturing 150 cars. Cost gets spread. which is called economies of scale. I'm sure you'd have heard this word, economies of scale. Okay, so what are the benefits of exporting? Expanded market, earning foreign exchange, and economies of scale for your manufacturing unit. Next, incentives to export, another very important thing. Okay, there are concessions, taxes, and then there are so many gifts given by the government of India because you are bringing foreign exchange. Okay, cash benefits on export values. Export promotion councils are there, so there are excellent schemes. You would have heard of zones, export zone, where they have a production unit, and that production unit will only manufacture and it's only for exports, not for internal consumption. And if you are an exporter, because you are bringing foreign money, it's a status symbol. Okay, so these are the incentives. So because of that, it's good to export. Risk involved in exporting. Okay, just imagine right now how many orders, okay, Bangalore would have had. Bangalore is the hub for so many fashion designing. You see all these export units which are stitching all your international brands, they are being stitched by these outsourced to these companies. Okay, Polo, Gap, then Tommy Hilfiger, right? So many of them. So just imagine now, people are sitting with the stock. Okay, COVID, like this, there are geopolitical trends. Okay, so it's risky. For volatile foreign exchange. Okay, when there was a war in Kuwait, overnight the money became invalid. So volatility, foreign exchange on a daily basis, on a minute by minute basis, the money value keeps changing. Okay, then it's not just a mere country. You need good suppliers. Okay, if you don't have good suppliers, then it's difficult. You should have good distributors. Okay, in the local market. Only then you will be able to send good products. Sometimes what happens, it's called reverse engineering. I send a particular product, say this phone, China sends it, or tablets. So they re-engineer, they find out how it is done, and then they themselves start manufacturing locally. Okay. So in any case, risks are there in all the aspects of life. But by and large, export is laudable because it expands your market. The government, made in India, the country gets enhanced, foreign exchange flows in. Because you are exporting, the local product manufacturing quality and aspects of finesse becomes really good. So that's also an advantage. We will go to the next aspect of licensing in the next module. Thank you very much.